So what I would also look at, because I'm focusing on non-classroom services, and I understand getting the students to the classroom is our obligation, but if we can take a very strong look, so step one is let's convene our committee on transportation, or however we're going to approach that contract, or maybe we won't have a committee, but consider the health benefit of a good 1 mile walk in the morning, creating some hubs for transportation, whether it be at the town hall, Route 6 Plaza, where the buses have less stops, and therefore our requirement for transportation can be decreased, thereby saving some money. I know we'd have to include safety personnel in town here to help guide us. That's why I suggested a committee. I know we have a lot of new roads in town, according to the highway surveyor, over the past 10 years. So with that, I'm sure we have a lot more transportation routes to take, but maybe we have to look closely at that and reduce the number of pickups and create some neighborhood hubs where we can reap some savings. So I throw that out as I see some non-classroom related expenses that I'd like to analyze further.
Mr. Harrison.
Question, but the CFC, it's a nonprofit.
Yeah.
What do we? First of all, do we get any benefits by using them? And then, secondly, the estimated $50,000 that you look at as additional revenue, does that include any increases in having to pay staff? Since I would imagine that would be something that would come back under collective bargaining or as increased time, or is that not accurate? Or?
Not necessarily, because this would be outside of the school day. It would be, obviously we'd have to put it out and post it and, let people apply to do that kind of work. The idea behind the whole $50,000 would be to expand the program, because if you just run it the way it is, we would not make anywhere near the $50,000. So you would expand it to capture perhaps some of the middle school kids in the afternoon and perhaps some of the morning time, where you could have students being dropped off, have somebody there. Of course, you don't drop them off at this point without some supervision. This kind of a program would have the supervision and would also perhaps allow us to provide breakfast.
What kind of increase participation does this? I mean, I guess just to get a little clearer picture on what this assumption is
the assumption would be the same number of students participating, plus about half the same amount of students participating at the middle school and half the same amount participating at both the middle school and the elementary school for breakfast and morning drop-off, if you will.
Mr. Larry.
Two questions, Dr. Cully, on the lines of Mr. Sullivan. With the new contract, I'm under the impression that we require our bus companies to have pretty much new buses every 3 years or so. If we were to back that off to older buses, that would be a cost savings to the company, I would think, to where we'd be able to have a lower contract. I mean, is that a possibility of not requiring brand new buses every 2 years or 3 years, whatever we do, per contract?
I was going to respond to Mr. Sullivan when he brought up the issue of transportation. I'm not an expert at transportation, although I've done a couple of contracts along those lines. What we did this year was take a little bit of money and invite the MSBO, Massachusetts Association of School Business Officials, with people from the People Transportation Association to come down and take a look at our operations. They spent a few days here analyzing our contracts, analyzing our procedures, and they're supposed to get to us, hopefully by the end of this month, a kind of a report that may answer some of the questions you brought up. But because I don't have that yet, I'm not ready to say, can we conceivably see some savings? Probably. What they're going to look like, I'll wait to see the report, and then it'll be coming up to the school committee.
Second question. If we were to take over the CFC program, does that eliminate the Head Start program that we have housed at the Macomber?
Not necessarily.
That is the same organization, so.
It's the same organization, but they have separate line items, if you will, or granting agencies that provide those services.
Okay.
But no, we were not thinking of that.
Anyone else? Mr. Sullivan?
Mentioning those programs, another thought I had regarding accreditation. It appears that accreditation for the Macomber is one budget.
Yes.
Is there any opportunity that we could combine our programs, MAC and elementary, and have one accreditation where we've taken administration and combined it? Could we conceivably have an accreditation of our West MAC program as a one freestanding accreditation?
The West would not require accreditation. Usually accreditation, when you're talking about the Council for Young Children, is really for preschool and kindergarten. So we wouldn't have to worry about the MAC, and we do not get grants for the, we won't have to worry about the West. We don't get separate grants for the West as we do for the MAC, one for preschool, and we get another grant for kindergarten. In other words, to have it as a full-day kindergarten. So if we tried to say, hey, would you come and look at the elementary school, it's not going to do anything. Probably cost us more money, which I don't want to do.
Anybody else? Okay, anybody? Hi, Ms. Dion.
Hi, I'm Christy Dion. I do want to reiterate what Ms. Dufault said. We have a lot of parents who do expose kids to the sports at a young age. You have all those soccer fields, and the soccer, about 4 years old, you see a lot of kids going out there. But all the kids in this town get exposed to Ms. Dufault's program at the age of 5 in the kindergarten classes. And that's where you see some kids really shine that you don't see them shine elsewhere. So if you need petitions or a bunch of people for you to help persuade you to not cut that, I will certainly do my best, and I'm sure Ms. Dufault will as well, to make sure we have people here to save her program and a program like hers at the Macomber and at the West. Those kids need that desperately. Thanks.
Thank you.
March is Youth Art Month and Music at Our Schools Month, and very appropriately this year, I just got the banner to hang up in the school. The theme is Music Lasts a Lifetime, and I think it's that for all the arts. It does. I mean, we want our children to be lifelong learners, and you see what's on television now, So You Think You Can Dance, American Idol. A lot of them really involved in the arts. I mean, we're all watching them and talking about it in the workplace and such. And this is such an important part of being a well-rounded individual, not someone. You just need the whole package, and I think it does last a lifetime. And I'm hoping that, and not just my program, I mean the whole thing, starting here and going right up. Right through the high school and into college. It does last throughout our life. So you really want to start it right down with the young children and continue it. So I just wanted